Do you have a clearly defined communication style for your brand? Today we're going to talk about that. Hello and welcome. So, this channel is all about language and multilingual content, and today I'd like to tell you about a powerful tool that you can use for your brand and that sometimes is overlooked by most businesses. For example, I'm guessing that when you created your business, you must have taken some time coming up with a nice logo and thinking about the colors that you want associated to your brand so that you could have a nice consistent image across all channels and platforms where you promote your brand in. Well, when it comes to written content, it's also important to establish a set of guidelines that will help you create a cohesive, consistent style of communication. So today, the tool I'd like to tell you about, it's called a style guide. And today I'm going to give you 5 tips, 5 things that you can take into consideration if you are creating a style guide for your brand. So tip number 1, think about 3 words that describe your brand, as if you were talking about a person, a human being. For example, if you have a fashion business, you might think about your brand as stylish, casual, and fun. On the other hand, if you have a legal practice, maybe you think about your brand as more serious, helpful, and straightforward. So when you create this image of your brand as if you are talking about a person, in fact, you are creating your fundamental style, and that will help you create better content to resonate better with your target audience. And speaking about your audience, this is tip number 2. Think about your target audience. Think about who you are speaking to. Who are your consumers, your prospective clients? Who is your target ideal customer? So think about their gender, their age, how they speak, how they communicate, which type of language they normally use. And this will help you make some decisions, like, for example, which tone of voice do you want to give to your brand? Do you want a casual tone, an informal way of addressing your consumers? Or on the other hand, do you want to use more technical jargon as a way to build authority, for example? So these are 2 tips that are a good starting point for you to start creating a style guide for your brand. Now, in a more linguistic sense, you might want to create a list of words that have ambiguous spelling. For example, email, that you can write with or without the hyphen. Either way is correct, but you should decide on an option on how do you want it to be written every time. Because if you are not consistent in the terms that you use, your readers might get confused or lost or think that you are speaking about different things. And so it's very useful to have a list of words and the way that you want them to be spelled so that you are always cohesive and consistent. Also, another thing that it's important to consider is numbers. Numbers, depending on the importance they have on the text, they might be misleading and might just put your reader off because they get confused if numbers are not as clear as they expected them to be. And this applies to quantities, to time and date formats, and to sums of money, for example. You might want to decide if, when you are referring to money, to sums of money, do you want to use the foreign exchange abbreviation like EUR for euros or USD for American dollars? Or do you just want to use the currency symbol? These are simple details, but they go a long way as to create a consistent, clear piece of content that your users will better understand and engage with. Okay, so these are 4 tips, and my last tip is the same way that you are creating a list of words that you want to use in your content and the way that you want them to be used, you should also create a list of words that you want to avoid. For example, you might want to stay away from salesy words like, for example, coupon, promotion, discount, price. There's nothing wrong with this, but you just might decide that they are not in line with your brand style and you just stay away from them. So this can also apply to trendy words like some abbreviations that are very commonly heard right now, WTF, AF, or OMG. And depending on your brand style and on your target audience, these might be perfectly adequate. If not, you should include them in your list of words to avoid in your style guide so that they are never used in any of your content across all channels and platforms. So these are just 5 simple tips that you can take into consideration while you're creating a style guide for your brand. And you'll see that if you distribute this guide to all the members of your team, to your content creators, web designers, graphic designers, writers, you will see that there are numerous advantages. You will create a clear, consistent, cohesive style for your brand. Actually, on my next video, I will also tell you how you can think ahead and take some things into consideration while you're creating written content that you will later on want to translate into other languages. And I'll be giving you some tips that you can use that will save you time and money. So if you still haven't done it, subscribe to my channel and click the little notification button so that you will be notified whenever I post a new video. And I'll see you here soon. Bye!